Okay, being more environmentally friendly, possibly one of the world's greatest challenges.
Even here in New York, where lots of people are doing lots of things to be eco-friendly for the future. But Matt King takes a look in this month's big idea at exactly what needs to be done.
More than half the population of New York City rides public transportation to work. No other metropolis in this country even approaches that percentage or the MTA's total number of riders. And for that reason, New York likely ranks as the most energy efficient city in the nation.
Adjusting a single variable can have a profound effect on the environmental performance of cities.
We don't have time to recap Michael Sorkin's resume. An urbanist and an architect for 40-ish years, he runs a graduate program on urban design, and he's written a whole bunch of books. He also founded Terreform, an advocacy group seeking to answer one enormous question.
Would it be possible for New York City to become completely self-sufficient within its political boundaries?
Renderings coat the walls of Sorkin's office, illustrating Terreform's neighborhoods of the future, where inhabitants walk to work, to school, to recreation, to cultural and commercial activities, and to the vertical farms allowing them to grow everything they eat. That New York requires very little of the transportation infrastructure, which currently makes our New York so energy efficient.
And in order to make this go in terms of power, we would need to build the equivalent of about 25 nuclear power plants, on Staten Island.
Sorkin sees reality and not Never Never Land when he looks out over this cityscape. The good people of Staten Island don't want an army of nuclear reactors in their backyards. But even a scheme where New York becomes, say, 30% self-sustainable would reduce the city's current ecological footprint by a giant, unestimatable amount.
Every day we actually improve in our buildings and systems.
Michael Gubbins oversees one of just 2 Platinum LEED certified buildings in the city. The Solaire recycles 30,000 gallons of wastewater every day. Its green roofs collect stormwater and help to insulate the building, keeping it cooler or warmer depending on the season. Fruit and vegetable gardens supply residents with plenty of ammunition for their salads. Factor in central heating and twice filtered air, and the Solaire's more than 700 residents use 55% less water and pay 40% less on their energy bills than those in your average residential high-rise. And yet, even a whole city of Solaire's likely fails to meet Terreform's 30% scheme.
The technology is not rocket science.
One finds no magic in solar paneling or hydroponic agriculture. The challenge lies in creating an entire city that functions synergistically, integrating all its systems to work on demand as those in the Solaire try to.
Our clean energy solution needs to be a conglomerate of all of the technologies that we have.
Darius Salgo installed the wind turbines atop 388 Bridge Street. The energy they produce powers the lights encircling the summit of the tallest building in Brooklyn. A couple of turbines won't leave Sorkin satisfied, but perhaps represent progress, no matter how slow.
The question is, how far are you willing to go? And also, how dire is the actual emergency?
Pretty dire, if you ask Sorkin.
And if everybody on the globe were to consume at the rates that Americans or Europeans or Canadians do, we would require the surface area of 3 more planets to supply everybody on the world right now. So obviously something has to be done. It's an emergency.
And one to which Sorkin believes we already possess the remedy.
There are obviously cost factors, and there are big integration factors, and I think most importantly, there is the factor of politics and will.
As a city, we can only ride the subway so far. In New York, I'm Matt King, Fox 5 News.